Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crypto Hipsters Podcast, where I interview founders and co founders, entrepreneurs and artists, executives and stay at home hipsters in crypto and blockchain around the world. And I have an amazing podcast for you today. Let's get to it.
And today I have a real honor and privilege of introducing our guest, Eric Ma, who's the Vice President of Marketing at Deeper Network. Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jamil. It's a pleasure to be here. Finally, nice to meet you.
First, to kick off, what is your background, and is it a logical background to what you are doing now?
Oh, that's a good question. No, it's not logical. I started. I grew up in the U.S. Grew up in New York, and my major in school was landscape architecture. I went to the University of Wisconsin, so I basically was a landscape architect for 10 years in the U.S. before I relocated. I'm currently based out of Taiwan now, mostly because of family and my wife is Taiwanese. And so my background in landscape architecture has nothing to do with blockchain, but I think what it did was it gave me a lot of experience in terms of dealing with project management and the coordination aspect, which kind of it does flow through into other fields as well. So that was a huge help, I think. Worked for very professional firms, architect and engineering firms. After moving to Taiwan, again, I had to switch gears. I couldn't. This was back in 2009 when I moved to Taiwan, and at that time, as you know, blockchain just started out with Satoshi's white paper. So at that time, it was still too early, and I hadn't even heard of Bitcoin at the time yet. So when I moved to Taiwan, I couldn't really do landscape architecture because of the market here. The market here wasn't mature enough for that. So I switched gears again and I decided to get into HR. I was in the education field of the HR aspect for about 10 years. And again, that has nothing really to do with blockchain. However, it did teach me very important tools and skills I needed in terms of management again, and how to deal with people, and how to set up standards and talk to people in terms of on a management level, and how to deal with people and manage them and make things smooth on a team. So I think that was for me even more valuable than my experience as a landscape architect. So during that time, though, it was probably around 6 or 7 years into HR. I started to invest in Bitcoin, and that was, very kind of. I've read the white paper for Satoshi for Bitcoin. I was very intrigued. It was all kind of happened around a poker table. We were all talking about it for a good 6 months, I think, until we all decided to dive in and say, hey, let's buy our first Bitcoin. At the time, fees were astronomical, but I think buying a Bitcoin was it was like 20% fees to get in. So right away you were down 20%, but I still did it. And just from my experience, I think when you become vested, you really start you have money in the game, you really start to try to understand it, right? It's one thing to be like following it and not have any money invested. You're kind of just doing half research, reading this article here and there. But when you're really invested, you dive in deep, and that's what we did. Well, that's what I did. A lot of my friends just kind of brushed it over and didn't do much with it. Spent all their time on altcoins and stuff. Got burned throughout that whole bear market. I had a pretty fair, well balanced portfolio, luckily, and I had the opportunity. I attended a lot of local meetups, and I built a good network, and I started to meet a lot of people locally, just around Taiwan, for drinks, there's local meetups on different things. Cardano was here, and just go listen to what they have to say. Just anything that comes up, I was very interested in. So this hobby of mine became an opportunity on my 40th birthday. Actually, I told myself, I said, "Hey, look, Eric, you're about to turn 40, and for a man, between the ages of 40 and 50 is the prime of a man's career, and you don't want to be stuck in HR. I pretty much hit a ceiling there in this company. I was pretty much like number two, and you got to do something with your life. Like you, and blockchain is so exciting. You missed the first dot-com bubble. This is your opportunity to do something. And I told myself when I blew out the candles when I turned 40 that I was going to do something. And believe it or not, 2 weeks later, the opportunity came knocking, and I had an opportunity to interview with CoinMarketCap, and I got that through my connections. And I interviewed at CoinMarketCap. The process took a little bit longer than I wished, but it was worth it at the end. About 3 months later, I became a core member at CoinMarketCap. I was employee number 17, and at that time, CoinMarketCap was still privately owned. It wasn't owned by Binance. It wasn't acquired yet. A fantastic team, traveled all over the world for conferences, and I was the global community manager. So I was in charge of setting up their community, which was interesting because they already had a community. It was just very disorganized. So I had to basically, with a lot of projects, you start with no community, right? Then you start building a community from scratch. But with CoinMarketCap, it was kind of the opposite. They had a community. It wasn't very organized. So what I had to do was look at it differently, and then I basically organized it into a very kind of a resourceful and I hate to say centralized, but I mean using these resources like Telegram and Twitter and all that stuff became more centralized. But I had experience doing that because I was managing also some of my own forums and groups in Taiwan. It was more of a education teachers group, and so all these kind of things tied in. I was a public speaker. I was a national champ in Taiwan for public speaking. So all these kind of experiences led me to this opportunity at CoinMarketCap. So after CoinMarketCap, I was there for just over a year before the acquisition happened. And I think during that time, I decided to leave CoinMarketCap. I had other opportunities come up. And, the acquisition, I think, changed a lot of chemistry. Most of the core team did leave and took on other opportunities. As you know, 1 year in crypto is like 10 years. It feels that way anyways. And so a lot of opportunities came and I dove in. So from a data aggregator, such as CoinMarketCap, I moved over to a small exchange, trying to understand what the exchange world was like. Saw that. And now I am at Deeper Network, which is a project level. So I've kind of seen all three tiers, and it's been really interesting. And I'm really passionate about joining Deeper Network because of the product and what they can do for the world with the decentralized network and the Web 3.0 gateway. So here I am.
Great. Awesome. I was looking at your background, and as you said what you did at CoinMarketCap, look back at, you have an impressive background in landscape architecture. It's a little different than landscape. And I looked up where you went to school and I said, well, they got a solid program there, So I was wondering how you brought together your skills, and that makes perfect sense to me. Because one of the things I've learned one of the things I learned over these last 4 years in crypto, and I've been in it 4 years, right? So as an attorney, I feel like I've been in it 40. Never underestimate somebody's view of the world. And if you can pull these resources together, which is what you did, and we're going to get into Deeper Network, and what you're doing there, then, that makes that to me, that's going to make for a successful project. So Could you please tell us, give us an overview of the Deeper Network?
Sure. I'll try to keep it, not so long. Keep it to the main points. But Deeper Network, we've been around since 2018, and we were founded in Silicon Valley. Our headquarters are actually based in Santa Clara in California, and our CEO his name is Russell, and he is a engineer. So he used to work for Intel, Palo Alto Networks. He was the head engineer, head of research there. He built, he headed up a lot of their networking and security there as well. And he started Deeper Network in 2018. And he brought on our CTO, Chow. And Chow, he used to work for Amazon. He was one of the key architects of their AI program at Amazon. And he later joined Harmony as he dove head deep into a blockchain. And it was when he was at Harmony that he met Russell, and then they conjoined forces and created the first product for Deeper Network, which is the Deeper Connect unit. So we have hardware, and right now we're already up to 6 generations of hardware. The Pico is coming out soon. We'll talk about the product a little bit later, but that I wanted to bring that up first because I think in a lot of blockchain projects, there isn't much in terms of hardware or any products. A lot of it is just a roadmap, vaporware. I think it's becoming less and less true now, but still, to see somebody so established like Deeper Network with 6 generations of hardware and breaking records on Indiegogo and selling over 10,000 units already, it's a little bit rare. I think it's worth mentioning. Mm-hmm. So we met, and then also our CMO, Cheryl. She did a lot of ICO projects, and she was, helped bring on Tron and Quantum were 2 of the big projects that she had with her consulting firm. So she has some good blockchain experience. She came on as a CMO, and I joined not too long ago, probably 2 or 3 months ago as a VP of marketing. But I've been very involved with this project, keeping track of it, and now I think it's the right time to join. So here I am. So Deeper Network has a device which basically gives you decentralized private networks. So with the decentralized private networks, most people know what VPNs are. Mm-hmm. They use it to, to bypass geo-censorship and the Great Firewall. But as you know, that VPNs are centralized. So they go through a particular server, depending on the company you sign up with, and everything is tracked there, actually. It's recorded, it's logged, and then it gets spat back out and rerouted to other areas. With the decentralized VPN, you bypass the centralization. Now you become a decentralized network. And as a unit, you are both a client as well as a server. So none of your data actually gets out because all that stuff is retained on your server. And so there's no monthly fees. You buy the box, you become a node. So I think that's one of the huge pluses of our product. The second thing is that that's already developed and that's already working. We have over 10,000 nodes around the world currently in the works. Number 2 is we have a security aspect. It's enterprise grade security, and security itself is a 7-layer firewall, and it's plug and play. So once you have it all plugged in, then basically you have IoT devices, any devices that's plugged into the network is protected. And this blocks from people trying to hack, trying to steal your privacy info, tracker, software, malware, all that stuff will not be able to gain access to your info. So that's 2 things that we have solutions to that are big issues right now in the market, which is censorship and privacy. So
No
our
problem.
project's really kind of three phases, and now with the launch of our mainnet coming up soon, the biggest part is the Web 3.0. A lot of people, they hear Web 3.0, but they're not really sure what it is. Web 2.0, well, Web 1.0. Let's real quick. Web 1.0 is when the internet was first developed, right? We logged on to a modem and all that. That was the internet boom, the beginning of it. And then now we're actually living in a world of Web 2.0, which is just a basic connection of webs through hyperlinks, and that's kind of what the internet is today. Now, it's still very centralized. It's all done through servers, and you want to, you have a huge conglomerates like Google and e-commerce like Amazon. Everything is centralized. Web 3.0 is the decentralized internet. It's the future of the internet, where censorship, privacy is really key, and you can see how our product moves straight into that. And as the gateway into Web 3.0, we are going to be offering totally new ecosystems for the users of the internet. So we'll give the users the ability to use DeFi services, where you can earn passive income through DeFi services, through yielding, lending, borrowing. All that will be available through DeFi. We'll also create ecosystems for dApps, decentralized applications, where builders can earn DPR tokens by selling their dApps onto the ecosystem, our own deeper network. And users can buy dApps to use different DeFi and other decentralized services in our ecosystems as well. We'll have different e-commerce, kind of decentralized e-commerce ecosystems created, as well as decentralized e-services. Different like we recently signed a partnership with Bridge Mutual, which sells insurance on the decentralized front, on the DeFi front. In addition, a lot of new things that are coming up. I'm sure you've heard of Jamil. You've heard of NFTs. We're working with partners to try to create an NFT ecosystems, to create an early ecosystem for these kind of things as well. So we're really on the forefront with a lot of these new technologies that are coming up, and trying to establish them and giving them a place, a market where they can actually use it. And it's not just a closed ecosystem here, because we are built on Polkadot, using the bridges and their interoperability features. It's really easy for us to basically connect to other ecosystems around the world. We could connect to Ethereum ecosystems, which is, I have to honestly say it is the biggest right now. So it wouldn't be smart not to connect to Ethereum. But then there's Cardano coming up. There's a lot of other platforms that will be able to connect. So that's Web 3.0, and we will be the gateway for that. And we're closer than most people into being there. So that is what Deeper Network is.
Great. Thank you. I
Yeah.
want to talk at a broader level regarding that Web 3.0 and say, I've recently been reading some research reports, and one from Freedom House. They published their annual report called Freedom on the Net 2020, the pandemic's digital shadow. Now, one of the arguments in that report is that rising cyber sovereignty threatens to further splinter the internet, with China and also Iran, but China having the greatest firewall in the world. What role does Deeper Network play in cyber sovereignty? And how could your project dissolve the firewall or sovereignty barriers that connect the global decentralized market?
Right. Well, from my experience with the Great Firewall, I traveled extensively throughout the world especially when I was with CoinMarketCap. That was before COVID, and I did travel to China a few times, and the Great Firewall was an issue. And at that time, I didn't have a deeper connect, even though it was already developed, and I was just starting to get to know the program, the company. And the first time I went there, I bought a VPN, and one of my colleagues said, "Hey, buy this particular VPN; it'll work there." When I got there, because of the Hong Kong protests, they the government of China had actually amped up what they were blocking. So my VPN that I purchased didn't work at all. So I was unable to access all my Google and all my stuff that I was working on at CoinMarketCap for about a week, and it was a huge issue. And while I was there, they actually sent me Deeper Network sent me a Deeper Connect unit, and I plugged it in. I didn't even have to do anything, and right away I was able to access all that. And basically, what they do is they tunnel through the firewall, and I was able to gain access to all my work stuff. So right away, I was like blown away about how easy that was. I didn't have to do any setup or anything like that. So it is a little bit of a sensitive subject in the sense that um, the Great Firewall, if we were to advertise it so blatantly and so in the face of China, it would actually hurt our projects. So um, because of what you're talking about, the sovereignty aspect of it, um, this is a product that can really break down the whole entire firewall of China. However, we still have to be careful on how we market it in China. So the market's a little bit different there. We do have some great partnerships with China. I can't mention not with the government of China. I'm sorry, with some telecommunication companies there, some big ones there, and as well as some others who are very interested in our product. But it's kind of on the DL because of the government. And we market it differently there in the sense that we really don't market the the DPN aspect of it. We really market the security aspect. It's the enterprise security that is also highly sought by many people as well. You know, with the more and more remote work and working from home, people's security at home is not near robust enough as compared to some networks at the company. So by having a deeper connect device, they're able to bring enterprise grade security into their home and protect all their, information as well as crypto and from hacks and all that kind of stuff. So that is a highly sought feature that we are more focused on, and also the sharing economy in China. So that's how we kind of approach it there.
Mhm.
I don't know much about Iran, to be honest. We have we have people who during the public sale, Iranian, trying to take part, but I think because of the sanctions and the restrictions, it's very difficult for them to take part into that unless they have some smart KYC kind of access or something like that. But yeah, so that's basically the market with China. We're approaching it a little bit differently there, yeah, than the rest of the world.
So one of the challenges, and I wanted to ask you specifically because you're qualified for this one.
Okay.
One of the challenges that report denotes lies ahead is how do we collectively build a global civil society? Especially with the countries headed towards internet sovereignty. Now, what is you being an architect? What is your architectural vision? On the design of how we could create that decentralized civil society and achieve it.
Right. That's a great question. You know, the visionary in our company is absolutely Russell. He is a different character. You know, I see him as like the Steve Jobs. Yeah, people talk about Steve Jobs. All these visionaries, Elon Musk, Jack Ma. We just haven't heard of Russell Leo yet, but he's seriously on that level. When you speak with him, you get inspired, kind of like that. And he was one of the big reasons why I joined. And he shared with me a lot of the visions of the company. And the one of the biggest is to have a fairer internet, um, and that's where the Web3 comes in. So the civility of the internet is all based. It's going to be based on trust, and it's actually, when I say trust, it should be trustless. Okay, because of the decentralized nature of it, it takes the trust out of the internet, and which is a good thing if you were to think about it, because then you don't have to trust anyone. everyone can be trusted. And even the way that, I mentioned earlier how we mine, so it's based on credit. It's not based on, how much money you have. All these sort of things will be carried through into the new internet. And so by having a decentralized internet, transactions can happen without having to trust a third party. All these things need to happen so that we can use the internet without the worry of, oh, are we going to get scammed? All this stuff is going to be going on the blockchain. It can be tracked. It can be, you can be verified before you make any of these kind of things. Transactions happen. So I think Web 3.0, the reason why everybody is moving that way is because they want to take the trust out of the internet and make it a safer, a fairer internet for everybody. So that is the main vision, simply said, by Russell, is to create this kind of a ecosystem for everyone.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, my final question for you today is: how can people contact you to find out more information?
Yeah. We have a couple of websites. We are rebuilding we have two websites basically. We have our blockchain based, which has most of the info. It's a little bit technical. It's more it's kind of geared towards like blockchain people. So if you want more blockchain info, it's www.deeper.network. And that website will include a lot of info in it. Some of it might be a little bit too technical, but you can scroll through. There's plenty of info there. You can join our website again. It's www.deeper.network. And
Great.
there you can find our communities. You can join our Telegram communities, which is growing really quickly. Our Twitter for official announcements. We have a Medium. There's a lot of info out there right now with us. Our IDO is taking place. So I don't know when this show is going to go out, but you can certainly go ahead and take part in the IDOs and get in on Deeper tokens, because that's really hot right now. We'll have public sales, and then after that, we're looking for listings on Uniswap, and then also on centralized exchanges.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, and appreciate it. And thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
Me too, Jamil. Really, really appreciate it. And wow, perfect.